I am so excited to talk to you all about Special Forces. What made you decide to sign on for this show?
Honestly, I got the call and I was a little hesitant because I'm like, I don't know how to swim, not great in water, but I was turning 50. So I was like, why not? And I kind of missed that adrenaline from competing. So I was like, what better way than face all your fears to get that adrenaline going again?
You're obviously very athletic, World Cups, Olympics, everything. Did your background in sports help you prepare you for this at all?
Not really. Yeah, I think in sports, your preparation is getting you ready to play, and your fitness is for that sport and your game plan and everything. When you go into Special Forces, there is no prep work. The game plan is always thrown out the window. Even you'll see on some episodes when you're actually with your teammates thinking you're gonna head into something, and this is what we're gonna do if this goes wrong, and then you turn the corner and you're like, oh, it's all out the window.
Yeah.
So I will say having a fitness base probably helped a little bit, but it's definitely more mentally challenging than physically.
Had you watched past seasons before you went on? Were there any standout moments where you're like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it, kind of thing?
I've watched some clips, to be honest. I started when Carly, my teammate, was on it, and when she got submerged underwater, I was like, I can't watch this show anymore. Full on panic, freaked me out. I was like, I can't watch her suffer.
Yeah.
I see her as a strong, crazy, independent woman, she's rock solid. So kind of pulled away from the show, and then when I got asked, I started watching clips. I'm like, I can't watch anymore. I won't go on. I didn't want to psych myself out before I actually got there. I was like, I wanted to face it straight on without having too much of some imagery of something not going well for somebody.
We talked to Denise Richards after last season aired, and she was saying that her daughters just did not want her to do it. They thought she was going to die. What did your daughters think when you said you were going to do this?
They thought it was crazy. Yeah, they thought, because I told my oldest, because I didn't want to tell my youngest until after I was on the show, so I told her I went to a yoga retreat. So when she saw me come back, she's like, Mom, you did not go on a yoga retreat.
Shell-shocked.
Yeah. But she's like, Mom, I can't believe you're going to do this. She's like, I know you're tough and you're fit, but you're going to face all your fears. I'm like, yeah, straight on. Mom's going for it. And it's like, what else? Why? I needed a little me time, kind of just to get away, put the phone away, and get into these challenges.
We're going into episode 3 next week. We've already lost 3 people. We lost Brittany, Teresa, and Eva. Were you surprised that most of the Bravo girls were the first to go? And how do you watch? Are you a Bravo fan? Have you ever watched them before?
It was nice because I got to see people for who they were, with seeing them face their fears. But I was impressed with everybody, to be honest, because once you get there and you're getting screamed at by the DS, you start bonding and getting to know people. It's hard because you have the mics on to really get to know somebody, but I was impressed because everybody has a background, whether they played sports, even though they're not doing it at the highest level. You could definitely tell there was some fierce fight in Eva and Teresa. I was really impressed.
Yeah, and then in this week's episode, you were forced to fight Gia.
Yes.
Go! Go! Fire back!
Come on, let's go.
Let's go! Don't turn your back! Don't turn your back!
You better fight.
That's it!
Can you walk me through what that was like for you?
It was intense because I've never fought before. So they call your number out and you go over and you're getting, the hat, the helmet put on, and you're putting on the boxing gloves, and I'm like, you don't know who you're facing. So he's, DS is talking to me. I'm like, I'm just gonna fake this till I make it. I'm gonna hit my gloves together. I'm gonna act like I belong. I'm gonna act like I did this. And I turn and it's Gia, and I'm like, oh my God, I love Gia. How am I gonna fight her now? And it was just so hard. So I just kind of warped her face into somebody that was somebody else that I, don't really like. So that it made it a little bit easier to kind of get into that moment. But it's such an adrenaline high. Fighting, because it's again, so quick, so fast. You don't even know how to throw a punch. You're just getting after it, and the DS is yelling at you. So it's intense.
As a mom yourself, could you understand why Teresa, ripped off her armband right before she had to watch Gia fight?
All right, I'm withdrawing.
You want a VW?
Yes.
Okay. Go over there. See the
I
doctor.
can't see you fight.
Go over there. See
Get
the
over
doctor.
here.
You got this.
You're off the course.
Or do you think she should have stuck around and kind of,
And it's
waited
harder,
it out for
I
her?
think mother, daughter with my daughter, because we go to the gym together, I'd probably be like, get after it, but they have a different bond, and it's I get the fact that she's Mama Bear doesn't want to watch her, her cub actually fight, so I guess it's, that part of it, I can see why, but I think originally, I was supposed to fight Teresa, but she heard it wrong. I think she was so into the fact that she didn't want to watch Gia fight that I think she was the one that I was originally supposed to fight, and then she pulled out.
The other thing that they did in this episode was the water submersion. You said you're not a great swimmer. You said you had to turn it off when you saw Carly doing it. What was that like? Because that's one of my biggest fears too.
Well, it was even more difficult because the recruit that went prior, before me, had an incident, and you know, I got to watch that live, you know, and then realizing that's my biggest fear, and kind of going into a panic, you know, trying to walk away, take some deep breaths, started crying a little bit. Then I was like, all right, I have to do this. Like, I really have to do this, and kind of just took that walk, did the imagery, and was like, the pressure. It's not like just dumping your head in a pool. It's like when you're slowly going in, you have more time to think, or like take the last breath at the right time, and it's cold, and then the pressure when you first go under is like, it does take your breath away, but you're like holding your breath, and that's what I was like, full on, like just everything that I was practicing, again, game plan out the window. I was just like, keep holding, you have more breath than you think, you have more breath than you think. And like just keep going, eyes are shut, lips are like blown out. But yeah, it was an experience. When doing that, I was like, I could do anything.
Well, I do want to talk about the living situation, because we hear a lot about the bathroom situation, we hear a lot about the food. What was the hardest thing for you to adjust to when you were in the camp?
I think the lack of food, right? And I think because it was so hot, and when I'm hot, I lose my appetite. Right, so all I wanted was like a bar. Like, I just give me a bar. Like, I didn't even like need food, but it was just when the timing of when we ate, I was usually so exhausted that I barely ate, and I regret not trying to get more down, because then physically I was getting more tax because I couldn't recover. You know, it was like after, you know, task after task, workout, you know, so that was, I think, the hardest part for me, is like not really getting enough nutrition like I should have.
Yeah, no, that's tough. And then you're in the heat. You're probably not sleeping well. Those cots don't look very comfortable.
No, they're not comfortable. Like, it's hot in there. And then I was like flipping the side that I was sleeping, because the dirt was not as much on the one side, so I went the opposite way. The first night I didn't even put my sleeping bag on it. I was too tired. I was like, you know what? If they call me, I'm not going to roll this thing up and put it in my bag. I'm just going.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like trying to get through it. So yeah, you're living in tough situations, and that tent was blowing all night too. It was like loud and windy, you know, you're hot, you're just like, you're basically falling asleep, I'm sure 10 minutes at a time, just because you're exhausted. You're waking up and you're going back to sleep, so you're not really getting that full night's sleep.
One of the other things they did were these mirror room scenes, and we get to know each recruit a little bit better. We get to see the human side of the DS too a little bit more. We haven't seen yours yet, but what can you say about your one-on-one with the DS?
I was in a good place. I actually did well in the task. So when I actually went in to get that interview, it was hard, because at first I'm like, I don't want them to know about me, because I don't want them to use it against me. Like, I don't want them to know my fears. So it's very, like, I would say, like, short answered in the beginning, and then I started opening up, because, you know, I've had some trauma in my life. I've gone through some tough times. You know, I'm divorced, and you know, things didn't go well, and you know, unfortunately I have a full restraining order on my ex-husband. So like, I indulged some of that information because it was my time to like release it as well. You know, it's just like, I've dealt with so much after I retired. My last 8-9 years has been crazy. So I just was like, got it off the chest and like kind of can move on. You know, it was kind of just my own therapy within that room.
One last quick question. I always love to end the interviews with this show on this. What's the biggest thing you learned about yourself through this experience?
I think for me, it was more of like, just be patient with yourself. Like, I'm someone that just goes 100 miles an hour and never gives myself that grace. And I think I learned it in the show is like, the first 3 days, I was going 100 miles an hour and the DS are like, slow down. You're like falling off the ladder. You're doing this, you know, you're failing, like you're making like, but I was just like, that's all I know. I only know one speed. You know, and now it's like, okay, you're not who you used to be. Like, give yourself a little bit more patience when things don't go so well. So I think I've learned to calm down a little bit, like take it all in and just kind of enjoy life.